Hey everyone, Feisty Chess time. We've been paired up with Guru Jitmedi 47, and we're playing e4. Okay, we've got e5. Let's go with one of my favorites, the Vienna game. Knight to c3. This gives black a lot of options. We'll see what he does. Knight to f6. Let's play the Vienna Gambit. This is a bit of a trap. If he takes, I push e5 and his knight basically has to go back home. Yeah, okay, we're 10 games in here, and I am 4-6, my win-loss record. So, but more important than that, I feel like I'm improving a bit, and but I do need to keep a close eye on time. So up here you see the time milestones. I need to get 15 moves in by the time I get to 10 minutes. That's what I'll focus on now. I might need to adjust those milestones. Those might be 15 by 10 is tough. Okay. So we've stumped our opponent. There is one best move in this, actually. This is a nice opening. Yeah, he goes for this. I'll show you the best move in the analysis later, but this is a mistake. Black's not completely lost here, but he has a hard time. So the knight needs to go back home. That's the best move here. If queen comes to e7 to try to pin, then I can play queen to e7. And yeah, he puts himself in a bit of a worse spot because I can play knight d5 then. Okay, but now he is making a threat. We need to be careful how we go about this. Knight to f3 is necessary to stop the queen check on h4. He's likely to play d6 here. At which point, oh, okay. All right, he is coming to get me. Wow, he's protecting his extra pawn. Let's see. Been a while since I've done this. I think bishop c4 is good here. Bishop c4, and just with the idea of castling, and there's Muzio ideas here. So bishop c4, and if he goes g4, I just castle. He takes my knight, I take his pawn on f3 with my queen, and yeah, it should be even better in this case than the actual Muzio Gambit and the King's Gambit, because black has just wasted 2 of his first 4 moves by going knight f6 back to g8. So here we go. If he goes g4, I'm just going to castle. Very feisty stuff. Okay. I like the idea, the look of h4 here. h4 and d4. He can just play h6 if I play h4, but that could be good anyway. What I know about the King's Gambit, let's see, h4, g4, knight here. He doesn't have time for bishop takes e5. So I don't think he can go g4 if I go h4. That also kind of ruins my Muzio plan. I don't know if Muzio is going to be any good after bishop g7, however. d4 is a move we want to play. What about knight e4? I've got that extra move in. I got knight c3 in. So this allows me the chance to play... Ooh, knight d5 also looks okay. Okay, I've got to make a move. H4 looks like the fiercest continuation here. Okay. I think taking and trading is good here. Now maybe knight to e4. Yeah, I like the look of that. Okay, we've simplified things on the king side. How does he stop knight to g5? He can play g4, but I'm still playing knight f to g5 at that point. Maybe that's not such a big deal. He can go bishop takes e5. Maybe I need to get d4 in. Maybe should have played d4 earlier. Hard to say. That would have left my queen's knight with a little more flexibility. It could come to d5. You could go knight to c6. That seems to invite d4. I've also got ideas of bishop takes f7, knight, and then after king takes, knight takes g5. So sacrificial ideas are a real thing here. That g-pawn is also pinned to the knight. I think there's a way to make use of that too much right now, but my queen is coming to h5 very quickly in a lot of lines. I guess that's one of the virtues of g4, is that at least blocks up g5. Yep. Okay. Now I got bishop takes f7 here. It's worth considering. And then the knight comes with check. King has to move. I'll get a pawn for the piece at the end of the day. My queen takes. That keeps my central pawn intact. Bishop takes f7, king takes f7, knight f g5 check. Probably king f8. Is there a really safe square for the king? Knight g5 right now might be... Whew. I'm already down a pawn. That'll... See, knight g5, knight h6. Knight h6 solves a lot of his problems. It guards g4, watches f7. Can't do all those things, though. But I think I gotta go for the bishop sacrifice. Yeah, let's do this. It seems thematic. It's risky. It's feisty. Might end badly. But we don't play chess. We don't play chess to treat it like a science. I mean, I play it to have fun. And you only live once, right? He's really considering not taking the bishop. I can't imagine that anything else works here, because I'm just going to grab the knight, probably. At least. Okay. Could throw in... Oh, that pawn's probably good there. I could throw an e6 check here. That seems to free him up a little too much. Here comes a check, and we'll be taking on g4 next turn. Where does he want to put his king? Back to e8, and after I take on g4, I'm planning a check on the h5 e8 diagonal. So king e8, queen g4 threatens a mate. Mate in 2. Yeah, this looks good. Looks good for white. King f8. I'm still threatening a mate in 2. But I think black has more options to do things about that after king f8. Queen g4, and then maybe d5. But then I've got knight h7 check. Ooh, it's wild. It's wild stuff. Yeah, I think I can force him back onto e8 with checks there. Oh, he's going to g6. He's going to g6. Okay. So probably I'll just get both of those pawns with my queen. Okay, queen takes g4, d5, hits my knight. And I've got knight e6 check. Checks the king and blocks the bishop's attack on my queen. King f7 is no good because I take his queen with check. Ooh. King h6 is met with queen f4 check. That's got to be good. That's got to be good. So d5 looks like the key continuation after queen takes g4. He could also get his knight to h6. I don't have any checks immediately. In that case. Although I am still in a position to make that knight check, the discovered check. Let's do this. I don't see a whole lot better. Okay, haven't made it to 15 moves yet. We're under 10 minutes, but I think we're doing pretty well given the tactical circumstances. I've got 4 attackers right around black's king. I've got to like my chances here. Okay, I like this line. I think knight e6 is crushing here. So knight e6, he can't block with the queen. He can't go to f7 because I take his queen with check. He has to go to h6 or h7. If h7, I mate him with queen h5 mate, so he has to go to h6. And then I have queen f4 check. I haven't looked beyond that yet, but at that point he can't go to h5 because I'll have knight g3. It just looks good. It looks good. I'm not... Okay, knight e6, king h6, queen f4 check. He could come back to... Yeah, no, I'm just winning the queen. I'm just winning the queen at that point. Okay, let's do it. Forgot my knight was attacking the queen on d8. Okay, king h6. So we're looking at queen f4. King moves. I mean, worst case scenario, I grab that queen. Yeah, I'll grab the queen and then some, actually. I didn't see any mates. So he can take my knight, but then I've got to check on f7. Picks up his knight. All right. Black resigned. Okay, sorry, I'm not accepting rematches, nothing personal. I just do one game at a time and I analyze it. So good game, Guruji Mehdi 47. Let's go to the analysis board. All right, this is exciting. That's the kind of game I want to see. Feisty game. I don't know if that was sound. We'll see. We'll see what the computer thinks. First, this is a short game. We'll look at it without the computer first. Okay, knight c3 is the Vienna game. Doesn't appear to do much. I mean, it develops a piece and it defends our e-pawn, and it kind of puts the ball in black's court. And it's not often played. Even at my level, a lot of offbeat openings are played more often, but I haven't seen the Vienna game too much. So knight f6 is perfectly fine. And then I've got a couple of choices. I can go bishop c4, which goes into, can get into some really crazy waters if he goes for the fork trick with knight takes e4. But the alternative, and I play both of these, the alternative is f4, which is the Vienna Gambit. And it's kind of a pseudo gambit, at least at this point, because if black takes, he gets into trouble, as you saw in the game. But black does have one really good move here. Another bad move that leads to similar. I'm showing you all my traps here, one of my pet openings. But knight to c6 defends the pawn, but after this, you're looking at like a Halloween gambit without the knight being sacrificed, because wherever that other knight goes, we're going to play e5, and now the knight has to go back home. And we haven't even sacrificed a pawn. We got an immense center, and we're going to be way ahead in development. So taking is not as bad as knight c6. You can also play d6, which is actually not too bad. But one of the nice things about the Vienna Gambit, like the King's Gambit, it allows white to sort of take over the center if black takes, and also if he doesn't take, at some point I can take, leave him with just one center pawn, or I can push f5, and that can be a real big wedge for a kingside attack later. So I like the Vienna game. It's strategically sound in that it's trying to build up a big pawn center with white, and it may not seem as immediately testing as a lot of main lines like knight f3 or Roy Lopez, things like that, but it is strategically a good way to build a solid advantage and give yourself chances for a kingside attack. And there's a lot of sacrificial lines in it as well. Plus, it's loaded with traps. So I think at my level, the Vienna Gambit has everything going for it. Trap number one. I won't give away all my trappy secrets today, but trap number one is this. He did well to play the knight back immediately. If he tries something like this, then once my queen comes here, he more or less needs to come back here. His best shot here might be f3, actually. Let's see what the computer thinks about this position. The computer likes knight to g8. If f3, then knight takes f3. And then still best to go back to g8. What if we come here? Wow, huge advantage for white. I've never seen this in practice, but that knight's going to be kind of stuck. He has to go to h6 after I kick it on with h3 next move. Anyway, so yeah, f3 is no good, although I'm less familiar with that line. But knight to g8 now, and you play knight f3, and then a big mistake people make, and I've had tournament games basically won on this mistake multiple times, is d6, and now knight d5 comes with a huge sting. You can pause the video and work out the tactics here, but it's, there's a reason you can easily figure out if you look at it a little bit why white is plus 9 points on the computer evaluation here. So he did well to avoid the desperate attempt to say, no, I'm not going to move my knight. Haha, I've got my queen, I'm going to get your pawn. And I can do the same thing and put him in an even worse position. So we went back. Knight f3. Again, I could probably play d4 here if I want to do this Steinitz style and let queen come to h4 for check, and then I go king e2. But that's a lot of complication that I don't necessarily need. I wonder if the computer likes that. That's not terrible. Yeah, and there's the line, king e2. Kind of the Bong Cloud variation. But much better than the Bong Cloud. So knight f3, d6 is, yeah, the most testing move here. And then d takes e5. And then there's lines with pins, which seems strange to me. We don't need to go into the details of all this. A lot of times I'll just play bishop c4 here anyway. Computer doesn't like that. But d6 is probably the best move. I should probably study that a little bit. g5 looks okay, and it's in the theory of the King's Gambit, but look at the differences between the King's Gambit, right? So if we go back to the beginning, and I play the King's Gambit, and he takes, and here comes knight f3, and this is like some main lines of the King's Gambit, the classical variation, I think. He's just played g5, and the difference is my pawn's on e4, and I only have my one knight out, okay? But look at the game continuation here. My pawn's on e5, and I've got two knights out, and his pieces are still just stuck at home. And I'm getting a third piece out. So already I've got, I mean, I'm down a pawn, and he wants to hang on to that pawn because otherwise he's just got a loss of time with no compensation. So the pawn is his compensation, and I think hanging on to it makes sense with g5. But yeah, it's tough. Okay, the computer likes h4. That's good. Let's look at the other alternatives, because I thought about d4, which is also good, but not nearly as much. And did I think about castling here? I thought about knight e4 immediately. Ooh, it doesn't like that at all. Let's look at why. Now h6. Right, and I'm not going to sacrifice both knights for two pawns here. c3 and b3. Okay, it doesn't give anything immediately threatening for white. How about knight d5? Likes that even less. c6. Okay, my idea with knight d5 was to threaten knight takes here, and if the queen takes, knight takes there. But that's problematic, not only because of c6, but even if he plays another move. I can take here with check. He goes, my knight takes the rook, stuck in the corner, the king on d8, and then his queen comes in here. That doesn't look very good for my king, as, you know, any better than black's king. So, and my knight's probably lost in that corner. So h4 is the way to go. Yeah, I studied a little bit of King's Gambit theory recently, so that helps. That helps to make those kind of decisions. The idea is to play h4 soon. To play h4 sooner rather than later. Forget the actual reasons here. I'll have to look at whatever book again. I think it kind of forces h6. I don't know, getting those rooks off the board seems to take away some of white's attacking chances, but maybe not. Okay, it likes both d4 and knight to e4 here. Yeah, rook takes h8 is kind of the only choice at that point. Hold on, let's back up. We're going quickly. H takes g5 is the only answer given. And if d4 now, right, h4 is kind of committal because if d4 now, well, I wonder if this works. I can no longer do the Muzio thing because this h-pawn is too weak. I can't do the castling. I'm sure the computer will hate that. Wow. Wow, it doesn't hate it so much. Okay. Who needs an h-pawn, I guess. I could still do the Muzio idea, but bishop takes f4 is a better way to sack the piece. Doesn't even like taking the piece here. Queen takes f3, and white's down a piece, but I mean, black's only got one of his pieces out, so the computer says +5. Wow. Obviously, you can see threats on f7 are looming. So, Lots of active potential in these King's Gambit type positions, especially when you just give yourself a free move to develop that knight and to put that pawn in the on e5, a thorny square for black. So yeah, things are looking really good. I'm glad I found the best way to finish this off. Knight e4. Likes d5 here. If d5, let me turn the computer off and try and solve this puzzle on my own. I was thinking capture en passant. And let's say black captures back, although I'm not sure that's the best here. Maybe just a developing move is good. Bishop f4. Black captures back. Now we've got to watch out for this fork, but we've got this. Bishop takes f7. What's the computer have to say about this? d5. Yeah, e takes d6. And black is losing, but g4 is the recommended try. Don't go with bishop takes immediately. Okay, looks similar to the game line with g4 immediately. So it likes knight f g5 best. And after d5, take en passant, so just the same line transposed. And then c takes d6, bishop take f7, check. We haven't sacrificed a piece, and black's king is in trouble. Let's look at this. d5, okay, take en passant. What about like bishop e6 here? Bishop takes e6, and now taking back is a mistake because of this. Yeah, those knights are real problems for black. Okay. Instead I went for the bishop, which looked more forcing, and it works. The computer likes it. Hold on, let's see other alternatives here. About knight h6. That again seems to solve a lot of black's problems. Just d4, we're just going to solidify our position. He could win, no, he can't win the knight with f6 because I've already got this pawn on e4, e5. So I can just sort of build up the position. Queen e7, king f2. We're just going to get our queen on the h-file by other means. If that check ever comes, we just slide our king back here, and now our queen is coming to h4. Yeah. Okay. Instead I went for bishop takes, which seemed more forcing. King must take. Yeah, if he doesn't take, then I just don't even lose a piece, and I have nearly as strong of an attack. Knight f to g5, king g6, apparently the best line. Queen takes g4, and now yeah, knight h6 would have been much better. Let's look at this line, knight h6, and then queen f4. I don't have any checks for a while, actually. So bishop takes e5. We're going to give the piece back. That's the best way to go about this. How about knight here? d4. Knight Knight e6 anyway. Because I'm threatening the knight on h6 now. Knight e6, bishop takes e6. Queen takes h6. He has to go here. Knight g5. Queen takes g5. Otherwise he's looking at a mate. Or close to it. Queen g6. Huh. King f8. Mate and 7. Oh, knight takes e6. Okay. This gives away the game, and we found the right continuation. So again, if king h7, this is a nice, neat little mate, thanks to the queen and knight. And if he goes here, I take the queen with check. So I'm getting away with my queen. Similar to the game, he goes here. Now I get away first with my queen. And after he moves the king, I take the queen. Although it sees a mate instead. Here's how the game went. Knight takes d8. Okay. We're still on the path to a mate. It's not just winning the queen, but... Should we play this out? Knight h6 to guard f7. And now d3, huh? Interesting. d3. What about this? Oh, that'll work as well. Let's do that. It's more intuitive. King h7. Only move. Knight f6. Only move is to take. Now we're threatening mate again. Knight f5 to stop that. Queen h5. And now we're getting that check on f7 that we wanted earlier. King h8. I should be able to see this. How do we finish this off? Queen h5 check. I gotta turn this off. Queen h5 check. King g8. Check with a pawn. f7 check. Is that right? Queen h5 check, king g8. Queen g6 check. Yeah, okay. King h8, knight f7. So we found it. We found it. Yay. Queen h5 check. There's knight h6 as well. But if here's the line I looked at. We've got this. King goes here, it's mate on f7 with the queen. And there it's mate on f7 with the knight. Instead, knight h6. A simpler mate into. Okay. Well, there's the game, folks. Quick one today. Feisty one. Lessons from this game. Initiative is worth a lot. Tearing apart that enemy kingside, it's not only fun, but it's also effective when you can. Okay, and know what to do against offbeat openings. For black, the main lesson here: don't take on f4. You should be able to see that the next move I have, and be able to kick your knight home. The best move for black here, actually, I didn't mention this earlier, and the point of playing knight f6 is that now black can go with the immediate break, d5. So some of the main lines go like this, and the point is now black has a powerful knight here, and it's not so easy for white to, say, take advantage of something like this. There's a lot of lines here and a lot of interesting complications, but yeah, this is equal for black, and the computer actually slightly prefers black, you can see. So there's the secret trick. If all my opponents knew to play d4 against this line, or sorry, d5 against this line, I'd have a lot harder time winning games. But with opening traps like this, you get fun outcomes, for me anyway. Not quite as fun for opponents. So yeah, good game. Gurujit Medi 47. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.